you can understand no one wants their players hurt, and we're only assuming there just because of the gesture he made in terms of his foot.
No, I looked that way, and I think there were 2 or 3 in the game. I think the Bruno Manga one on Aguero, and Joe Bennett getting sent off for the second yellow. So I think it's probably an accumulation of fouls, and obviously Man City 1 or 2 injuries already. So I understand why Pep's angry there.
Cardiff hung on in the second half. We were talking about whether they should have a go or not, but it's difficult against Manchester City. It was a bit of a damp squib the second half. Yeah,
they did the best they could. Credit to them. It was spirited second half, created 1 or 2 chances, looked a little bit more organised. It sounds a little bit crazy, but I think Aguero coming on actually helped them. Having an orthodox striker up there was more orthodox movement almost for them to deal with. 1 or 2 chances in the second half. I think they'll be feeling much better about the second half performance, albeit out of the competition.
We can hear from the man of the match, Kevin De Brilliant. Here he is with Manish.
Kevin, very well done. You're through to the 5th round of the FA Cup. I mean, that was another potentially tricky tie, well negotiated.
Yeah, they have a different play style to everybody else. They almost play man against man over the whole pitch. It's a little bit weird, but I think the tactic we did was class, because Vinny was always free. And it's just like we opened up the midfield for him to come through, and every time somebody would press them, we would play to the man who was marking that guy. So we had a lot of space. The second half was a little bit strange because they didn't want to attack us either, and I think it was a little bit boring for half an hour. But for us, is a little bit keeping energy for the next games.
Tell us more about the free kick. It was terrific, very clever in many respects. Something that you were more than fully aware that the Cardiff will jump at free kicks that way?
Yeah, they tell us before the game. We know all the details, and it was a guess. I think the wall was not on 9 meters for me, so they were very close. So it was easier to put it under than over.
Physically, it looked like a tough 90 minutes. There were some pretty meaty challenges out there.
Yeah, but we know how they play. We're just trying to play football. In the end, they catch us a few times. Is football, but obviously Leroy is injured now, so hopefully it's not too bad.
Okay, well done today.
Thank you.
We've got a pundit in the making there. Interesting assessment of the tactics that obviously they've worked out. The fact that it is unusual for teams go man to man on you, and then obviously somebody has to be free. Somewhere they come out, and someone has to come out, and they lose them.
Well, we said it. Danny said it at half time. That it was strange what they were doing and going to man on man. That is very brave in doing that, because you're putting yourself up against players of Premier League quality, top quality players. And I think that, without a doubt, that certainly suited Manchester City. They say, OK, that's fine. If we'll fancy our ability 1 against 1, we can handle that. And they always had a spare man. But what changed in the second half is they made a substitution. They actually they got their players higher up the park a little bit, created 1 or 2 chances, but there was nothing serious. It was a comfortable afternoon for Manchester City.
Kevin De Bruyne said there, we look at all the details. He knew they were going to jump. Wall was a bit too close. Under easy than over. It is if they jump.
Yeah, obviously, it would have been red-faced if they didn't jump, and he went straight into the defeat of the players. But yeah, they don't underestimate the quality there. He's done it before, but great execution.
Yeah. I mean, his all-round game is terrific. We've got a number of examples here, Danny.
He can do everything. He's a complete midfielder. I mean, look at our ball in behind. But not just his passing, for me, his work rate, his all-round work rate to chase back and win balls. He always sees the pass, but it's all right seeing the pass, but then it's the execution as well. And he's just got everything. He's a guy on the top of his game. I mean, this ball here, it's a delight to play with, I'm sure, as a striker. You just make your run. You only have to time your run. You know the ball's going to be there. This ball, I don't even know how he sees this ball, but then to execute it with the right way of pass, and Sterling should probably do better there. He's just a player on the top of his game.
Attitude was fantastic, I thought, from the Manchester City players today. Sometimes it's easy when it should be easy when you go into to grounds of lower league, that you just think, oh, it's going to happen. But top players make it happen. Yeah. You can't never question their attitude, and he's one of those guys.
Yeah, he certainly is. And they're always a threat, Manchester City, going forward. We didn't get any goals in the second half, but Sterling with a header unusually.
Yeah, again, they'll be disappointed. If you're going to concede goals, you want to concede them in the hardest possible way, but this wasn't the case. Morrison, I'm not sure what he was doing this far wide or high up the field.
He's got to get himself back into a defensive position, isn't he? never does. Bruno Manga as well, never looks at Sterling once.
Yeah, I think that was the case in the first half. They were trying to be so disciplined and being so tight to the players, but there was no real organisation.
Yeah,
brilliant.
But yeah. It's a tough one for Cardiff. I mean, their thing obviously is looking for promotion. They had 1 or 2 opportunities with a little bit of luck, perhaps. They could have dragged themselves back into the game. Junior Hoylett, terrific effort, actually.
Yeah, this is what he was all about. He had a quiet game. He spent most of the game defending, chasing shadows. But when he does get into these areas, this is what he's capable of doing. Just picks up the loose ball, drives inside, and he can't catch that any better. To be fair, so unlucky. Claudio Bravo's beaten, just grazes the top of the net in there, but he couldn't get enough of the ball. Man City were dominating possession, and
well, that's the problem, isn't it, when you play against them? Is actually getting enough of the ball. This was the opportunity in the first half.
Well, for Cardiff to have been successful today, they needed to take every half chance that they were going to get, and
for City to have an off day,
and for City to make 1 or 2 mistakes. Like that goalkeeping error there, but other than that, they were at it. They were professional. Attitude was fantastic, and they deserved the result.
But Cardiff promotion. Do you think they can make it?
Yes, possible. Yeah. I think that automatic place is still up for grabs, first or second. Even in the playoffs, I think they'd be a very difficult team to beat. Defensively, very good, physically strong, pace and power in the attacking areas. So. It's just whether they can handle the pressure and the expectancy second half of the season. But Neil Warnock's been there, done it as a manager, so they got a good chance.
Yeah, and Manchester City? What do you think? All 4? Is it even conceivable that someone could do that? I mean, Champions League's very difficult. League's almost done.
Yeah, well, I think if anyone's going to do it in the history of the Premier League, this is the team that looks the most capable of doing that. Champions League, I'm not quite sure, but the domestic front, I feel confident they can dominate.
They'll give it a go, but I don't think they'll do it.
No.
I think they'll just fall short somewhere along the line, but they're one hell of a team.
They really are. You can see the draw, actually, for the Emirates FA Cup 5th round on the One Show from 7 o'clock tomorrow. And now's the time to register for another cup competition.